Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about the imperative verb tense. I find this one a bit of a trickier verb tense. I know I probably shouldn't, but I don't know, I find it really, I don't like it. It's a command, you're giving an order to somebody. I think the reason why I don't like it is it's so similar to the present tense that it feels almost like you're making a mistake when you go to use it. And there's only a few exceptions, so I just find sometimes I'm like, what is that one again? How does that one work again? But it also sometimes feels rude, even if it's not intended to be rude. And in English, it's not always rude when we use it. It just feels rude because it's the idea of a command. It's like an order. So even if I say like, open your books, it's still, open your books. I can say it like in a really nice voice, but it's still like, it's a command. It's an order. It's like, open your books, do this now. Sometimes it's easier. It's preferable to say, would you mind opening your books? Even if I say, could everyone please open your books? Like it's still a command, so whatever. That's the point of the imperative. Here's how it looks though. The nice thing is that generally speaking, the verbs conjugate the same way. If it's like IR and RE, it looks the exact same as the present tense. What's different is that we can only give a command to 3 people. So you only are going to see a to, a new, and a vous form, which is, at first, you're like, oh, this is awesome. I only have 3 words to remember. But then all of a sudden you're like, what's the catch? And you're like, hang on, this is sounding too easy. What's going on? But think of it like this. If I give a command to one person, I can say like, close the door. That makes sense. One person, 2. I'm giving a command to them. I can't give a command to myself. Otherwise, basically my language is making it, instead of a to them, it's like a to and it's coming back onto me, which then I'm still going to use the to form. I can't really say like me, shut the door, me, like that doesn't work. I mean, I can write down the words, but grammatically it's not really very feasible. Again, I can give a command to one person, like you shut the door. I can give a command to 30 people, like everyone collectively shut the door. Or I can give a command including myself, like let's shut the door. So tu, nous, and vous, those are the pronouns that we use for this one. We're not going to have a pronoun for he, because think of it like this way. If there's a guy standing right next to me and I want to say like shut the door as a command, I can't be like he shut the door. That doesn't work. I can't give a command to somebody that I'm not speaking directly to. Because the minute if I talk to this guy and I say, go shut the door, then I would have to then face him, and now it becomes tu. It's no longer il. Okay? The only tricky thing, and this is where, for me, it's so, like, what is going on here? Is with ER verbs, in the to form, they drop the S. And you think, you're like, this is really ridiculous. Like, why did they drop the S? They could have just left it in. Because, like, in the normal ER verbs, like, if it's like you like, tu aimes, there's an S at the end, A-I-M-E-S, tu aimes. But for some reason, when you like give it a command and you're like this book, I don't know, it's stupid, but you take off the S. It doesn't go in, well, it's gone, Why we take it off, who knows, but we take off the S. So for me, that's, anytime I write in the imperative, I'm like, S, gotta take that off. It's so hard to remember. But then there's 4 verbs that are exceptions. Like every other verb, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but every other verb is generally pretty manageable. It just kind of follows the same sort of pattern, conjugates the same sort of way that you normally conjugate it in like the tu, nous, and vous form. But then we have 4 verbs that are messed up. So avoir, for example, in the tu form, it's A-I-E. Why? Who knows? I mean, really, like, why? Who knows? They could have been like tu as un livre, like you have a book and been like un livre. They could have left it like that. I guess they didn't like the sound of it. I guess instead of a, they're like a. Oh, that sounds so great. Let's use a. But it's no longer a, it's a. And then like if you're giving a command to a group of people, instead of avant, they're like ayons. And you're like, but you just changed the V to a Y. And they're like, it sounds so much better. Whatever. And then same thing with like vous, instead of like vous avez un livre, like you have a book. They're like ayez un livre, have a book. And they change the V to a Y. Who knows? To me, this is why this verb tense is really, really complicated. I think A-V-E-Z is fine. French people do not. They're like, no, it's A-Y-E-Z. It's got to be ayez, not eve. And then savoir and vouloir, they're also both, a little bit tricky. So those you can kind of, I'll let you look up this verb tense a little bit more on your own. But this is basically the gist of the imperative. Is it's a command. You can only give a command to tu, nous, and vous, the 3 pronouns. In the ER verbs, you take off the S. And then we have 4 exceptions. There's a few other little bits to take a look at, but those more in depth on your own time. This is just a very brief overview. So I hope that helps. Oh, and then just to remind you, all other IR, RE, and ER verbs just conjugate regularly, except for the ER verbs in the tu form, you just take off the S. So any other verb, it's generally quite manageable. So, right, thanks, hope that helps.